information. But yeah, let's get started. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our happy hour webinar this week featuring Australia. So as you know,
hi guys.
Our mission here at Discover Corps is to create advocates for the different projects happening around the world. So we thought we're all stuck at home. What better way than to each week connect with our partners around the globe and just hear about how the different countries are handling COVID and what it looks like, because it looks very different around the world. So if you have any questions at all, you can just go ahead and type them into the chat box on the right-hand side of your screen, and we'll make sure that Manny and Sharon will answer your questions for you. So real quick, just some introductions. I'm Amanda. I'm the marketing manager.
Hi, I'm Angela. I'm the travel specialist here. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, everyone. I'm Adrienne. I'm the operations assistant.
Hey, everyone. My name's Alex. I'm the operations manager here at Discover Corps.
And hi, I'm Sharon and Manny from Australia.
Hi.
So Manny and Sharon,
Good
day. Could you give us just a little bit of background on yourselves? How long have you been living on the Gold Coast? How long have you been running the trip? Things like that.
We've been with DC for working in partnership with you guys for 2.5 years now. Manny and I came to Australia about 30 years ago separately. And we've called the Gold Coast home and Brisbane home probably for the last 28 years. So, and we still we love it. It's still just as good when we arrived all those years ago. It's beautiful. It's the best.
Yeah, we're not biased.
Yeah, 30 years you must like it, right?
Pardon?
I said 30 years you must like it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and we still get crazy when we see a kangaroo or koala. It still gets our heart pumping. It's like, oh my God, because not many Australians get to see koalas that often.
No.
So for us, it's still like amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is amazing because in Australia, we're still, even though we're a massive continent, there's only 25 million people, and most people live in the cities. We're probably still one of the most urbanized communities in the world, even though we have the beautiful, iconic Australian outback and all the beautiful wildlife. A lot of people that live in cities don't get to see a lot of the wildlife. When your guests from America, they're so privileged to see some of the beautiful things that they're seeing. It's fantastic. And we're still very enthusiastic. We never get tired of seeing a koala in your backyard or a kangaroo running past. You know, it's beautiful.
I remember when I first met you guys and we were out on Stradbroke Island together and we were just seeing kangaroos, we were seeing the koalas, and I remember you guys were just as excited as I was. And I was like, wait a second, no, you guys are from Australia.
We still love it. And to this day, Australia, it happens all the time.
It's amazing. It really is.
Yeah. It's so special. When you sit just in the wild, natural, it's just, beautiful.
Yeah. And I think with this, what's happened with COVID-19, it's making people really appreciate our environment so much more. I think if there's a silver lining on this disaster, it will be an appreciation for the natural environment and the planet. Absolutely. It's great.
Especially for Australia, that it seems like there's a lot of, just a lot at stake right now, the wildfires, the Great Barrier Reef, just a lot of things in the news.
Yeah, we've had a hell of a year.
It's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call for everyone to appreciate it and to do something about it. And that's what's happening, isn't it?
I mean, the fires, as you know, were unbelievable. They were terrible. And then COVID-19 on top of that. But you know what Australians have done? We're quite resilient people, and we always have a good, optimistic attitude, and we can do it. I mean, look, we've basically beaten COVID-19. I mean, I've got to say, Australia's nailed it. And when we compare ourselves to other countries, it's fantastic. Absolutely.
So I was going to ask you, the overall attitude, is everybody really respectful of the stay-at-home orders and everything that the government's been doing? Or do you think would you say there's a lot of protests or anything, or is everybody respectful of it?
No, everyone's been adhering to it until now. Now everyone's getting itchy feet. So in Queensland, the restriction's going to be open. We're going to be able to go back to the beaches. We can only travel 50 k's within 2 national parks. We're going to be able to go shopping. But for the last few weeks, everyone on the whole has been fantastic. So many people have just been working from home. and you just go out and get your shopping, go to the doctors, just essentials, and then people come home. So it's everyone's been adhering to it, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
It's been hard.
It's been difficult because you have to understand Australia is, we live outdoors. Our whole society is outside. Everything we do is outside. So for Australians to be cooped up for probably the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks, it's a big thing. And they've done a fantastic job. I mean, the people of Australia and the government, we're all one, actually. I've got to say, it's been fantastic. It really has. Everyone's adhered to all the rules. As Sam says, it's now getting a bit itchy feet because after 6-7 weeks, it's getting a bit, we're getting a bit toey.
As they say over here. Yeah. Well, yeah, the confinement is, oh no, let us out. It's and the worst of it all, the weather right now is the best. Easter
Beautiful.
Normally traditionally
Beautiful.
rains, and we've just had the most magnificent weather ever. Like, isn't it? It's just been beautiful.
It's probably the best Easter in 20 years.
Yeah, that's just been.
Nobody's allowed
and
to
you
go
feel
out.
like you miss out on it. You know, so we've got a lot of making up to do. Those beaches have been missing us. So.
Yeah. But overall, I think Australians' attitude towards the COVID-19 pandemic has been fantastic. I think it really has. The response has been great.
So did you have any orders or anything where you had to wear masks or you could get fined or anything?
No. Masks are not masks have never been compulsory in Australia because from the very get-go, the medical experts have said that masks do nothing. So in Australia, some people wear masks because it's an individual choice. And people feel they feel, I don't know, they might feel they're more protected, but masks is not compulsory. It doesn't. Most people don't wear them. Some people do, but most people don't. I would say most of the Asian Australians wear masks because I think traditionally coming from Asia, people in Asia always wear masks if there's a cold or they have flu because they're very, basically more concerned with the community, so they wear masks. But most people, it's a personal choice.
You get fined though if you were found, like, we're not allowed to go over the borders. So we're not allowed to go from Queensland over to New South Wales. And as Alex would know, New South Wales is the border down on the Gold Coast is so near. So, and you would just pop across to the beaches there or pop over to the towns. And we're not allowed to do that unless for work, it's work related. And you would get fined personally, but we were told if we went out of our local area, we could get fined 1,500 Australian dollars if we went out. Not many people, didn't hear too many.
No, not many people got fined. Australian authorities are quite flexible. So, they'll mainly give people a warning. And they're like, all right, mate, don't do that again. And, so people are pretty good, aren't they? Overall, everybody's adhered to all the restrictions. You get one or two, but, you get that everywhere.
The youngsters going out partying at night, they've found it really, really hard. So there's going to be one huge party very soon that everyone's just going to go out partying really, really hard. So they've been finding
Me too.
Those parties are fun.
Yeah. So they've just been going around individually because you can meet one person. So they've been two, be changing to two. So it's, a bit of a change. And we've had to keep, our distance is 1.5, which is slightly less than yours, I believe, isn't it? So we've had to, do the social distancing all the time. And we find it quite strange now when people are near each other. It's like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? Like which you don't see at the moment, do you?
Yeah, but it is hard because, normal people is when you meet somebody, you automatically, I still do it. I automatically want to greet them. I want to shake their hands and you go, oh, shit, can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very different. Can you tell us, I think you said earlier before the call officially started, there was about 7,000 cases, you said?
Yeah, in Australia, the whole country is about 7,000 people were infected with COVID-19, and out of that, I think just over
90 died.
90 people died, but people that did die between the age of I think 55 and 90, and I think was it over 6,000 recovered?
Yeah,
just over 6,000 people recovered. So that's our official statistics, which are pretty good.
Yeah. And so what does the healthcare system look like there? Did you run into any any issues with people getting
No.
treatment or getting
No,
tested?
no. Australia's healthcare system is fantastic.
It's ready. It's all the hospitals being
yeah.
ready.
We were quite prepared early on with the virus, so they got their act together. And anybody who lives in Australia, regardless of where you come from or what nationality, you would get treatment, free of charge. It's whatever. Whoever's in the country at the time, and if you've got COVID-19 or you've got sickness, you will be taken care of. Because in our system over here is it's a public system, so everyone gets looked after.
And so much so, the hospitals are they're not busy at all.
No.
Because they've stopped all surgery, elective surgery. Two of our children, that they're nurses and they work in the hospitals, and they're just waiting for business, basically.
Waiting for business, yeah.
They're just not, it's dead, but they've got everything ready in ICU. They've put in more doctors, employed more doctors and nurses, and everyone's sort of at the ready. Even now, like they are anticipating when we're let out over the weekend, there may be a spike, a little spike. Well, not so much, are we?
No, look, but Australia is quite ready. If it does happen, we've got more than enough doctors, nurses, and professionals to cope with it. So yeah, your question is, we're good. The public systems, it's fantastic actually, and it really reiterates that in Australia, and I think a lot of European countries, our health systems are so precious to us that we'll, after this COVID-19, we'll make sure that they're even better, and they'll be funded. And I've got to say, it's a little bit different to where you guys in America, where you really, your medical systems have actually let you down, So we look at the United States and we see what happens there, and we think to ourselves, we thank God that we've got our systems over here, because it's just fantastic.
Yeah, I've been asking that question at all these webinars, and everyone says, do we have tests? But that's here in America. So, but that's great to hear. Yeah, it sounds like Australia did everything right, and I think you were a little bit ahead of us anyway in terms of
we got onto it straight away.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
I think it was a PO, wasn't it?
So a lot of people who have joined the webinar today are actually signed up to go to Australia, hopefully in the future, whenever this all ends and they can get there. So I think it definitely sounds like sooner rather than later for Australia. But can you tell us a little bit about the purposeful projects like David Flea's that we visit in Australia? And I don't know if you've talked to them about how they're handling COVID or if they've been affected, or even just the wildlife.
They're closed down at the moment.
Yeah.
So the volunteers are looking after all the animals. And it's just business as usual within the park. So everyone's being looked after, but no visitors. And they don't really know when that's going to be open. So, and then with North Stradbroke Island, total closed down. Mm-hmm. You're only allowed on the island unless you're a resident, which would have hit the island really hard because Easter is one of their busiest times for tourism over there. And it's just closed down. So everyone's, just the residents are there, nothing's there. So, I mean, the kangaroos, the koalas, the dolphins over there be loving it. They'd be wondering when the people are. But it's strange not to see the ferries going across there and regular trips over there, which is quite a big part for the Queenslanders to do.
So basically everything's just been put on hold, but all the operations are all carrying on within the parks, within the facilities, but everything's just been put on hold. And I would say in a few weeks' time that they'll probably reopen. Yeah. Because of our situation in Australia is so good. We're going to do it slowly. This weekend they're going to do a lot of the restrictions are going to be lifted. So we're going to do it slowly, and we're going to see what happens there. Also in Australia, we've got one of the best testing machines in the world. We've tested over 1 million people. 500,000, yeah. Already. So we're on track. I hope by the end of May, I'd say things will get back to some sort of normality.
We haven't been given timings yet, though, have we?
No, we haven't been given an exact date, but just going to sort of slowly do little things, and see how it goes, and then maybe do some more. And then if they see that's okay, then they'll do more. And basically, like everybody around the world, just got to wait and see.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, well, we always like to put resources out there too for our travelers and anyone watching. So if they accept, do you know if they accept donations that we can maybe send people to in case, who want to help?
Yeah, they do.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, on the David's Flea, that's really lovely to know. The David's Flea website. It's a little bit antiquated, I guess, but if we can find the right link, we'll get that to you guys. Yeah, they would love anything like that.
Perfect. Yeah.
Well, the last couple
for
of
their business, so that'd be great.
Cool,
we have
that'd be
a
great.
really good question from Kathleen. She asked if you have any updates on the bushfires because we haven't really been hearing much about that recently.
Well, the bushfires are completely out and completely under control. There is no more bushfires. Because we had, it's about a month ago now, we had a massive storms and downpour in all the bushfire areas. So that basically put a dampener on all the fires. So at the moment, it's fine. We're just waiting for the next season when we get a new growth. But we'll probably be okay for 2 years now. Then after that, we'll have to really keep an eye out because Australia's getting hotter and hotter, we're going to be more susceptible to these sort of fires. But hopefully we can get in there. They've also brought the Aboriginal people in to do some traditional fire control, which is they've been talking about it for years and years and years, but they've never done it. But now, after these catastrophic fires, they've brought in the Aboriginal community because these guys, they know about fire for 60,000 years and how to control the environment. So we're bringing in a lot of the local Aboriginal people to help us with the bushfires and the management of the bushfires.
I had not heard that.
It's really, yeah, it's fantastic. Well, a lot of people have been calling it for years and years, and why we don't use the Indigenous people's knowledge of this continent, which goes back to 60,000 years. So now that's what we're doing now. We're actually utilising the expertise of the Aboriginal people. So that's really good. But fires, everything's under control. There's no issues in regards to fires in Australia anymore.
Okay, great. That's good to hear. Yeah, it dominated the news and then all of a sudden it didn't, but it kind of happened right in line, didn't it? The bushfires were and then suddenly COVID was here.
Yeah,
exactly. COVID-19 just overtook everything.
And it didn't affect us at all in Queensland. We were very blessed. We had a few small fires up on the mountain just to begin with in the hinterland.
Very little.
But very little compared to what happened down south. So we were very safe here.
Great. So last question, for those who are considering traveling to Australia, maybe they want to watch the news or stay up to date on what's going on in Australia in terms of your letting people in and traveling and things like that. Is there a particular source or anything that you recommend that they keep up with?
Well, if you ABC News, which is the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, they're our national news. And if you look at ABC News, there's also a lot of information that they give out there in regards to Australia. Also online, I reckon the Australian Tourist Board.
Yeah, but the ABC News is really the best.
Yeah. ABC News is because it's national and that's all over Australia, so you can get a lot of information from the ABC News and what's happening in Australia.
Okay, perfect. I know there's so many sources out there and I never know which ones to follow or which ones are
I
true.
know.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Well, we're kind of wrapping up here. Is there anything else that you want our listeners to know or anything else that you want to add?
I think just to say that Australia is I'd say they've nailed the COVID-19, and I think we'll soon be open for business. And I think Australia will be one of those countries that people will want to come to because of our environment. Obviously, because of the shutdown of industry around the world, Australia was always a beautiful environment, clean. It's now even cleaner. It's fantastic. It's one of the most natural environments in the world. So.
And the country is just excited to welcome people back. It'd be the best time. Yeah. Being an island, it'd be so nice to see people coming back into the country.
Yeah, well, that'd be good for all the businesses as well, because like everywhere else, we've been hit very hard. Tourism around the world has basically come to a halt. Yeah. So hopefully we can get that back on track. So Australia will be one of those destinations. If you're looking for a pristine environment, beautiful animals, unusual animals, this is the place to come to.
Mm.
And beautiful weather.
Yeah.
And friendly people.
I know. I was so excited to talk to you guys. I'm so glad that we got you on the webinar because I feel like all my family and friends, everyone's just sitting at home dreaming of like their dream trip that they
Right.
and it's always Australia.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I have to imagine
well,
home counting down.
Yeah, take your breath away. The wildlife will take your breath away, and the environment will take your breath away. And you're doing something good too. It's good.
Yeah, I think after this COVID-19, I think a lot of people will reevaluate what they actually want in life and what they want to do. And I think a lot of people will, like your tours. I think after this is finished, I think you're going to get a massive. This is my own personal opinion. I think you're going to have a massive boost because people will be so hungry to get out and about and do something unusual that you'll probably be swamped with requests to come to Australia or Cuba or wherever, India, Thailand. Well, I think Australia will be very popular because Australia. I think people around the world will definitely see Australia and perceive Australia as a very safe place to come to because like we've got one of the best responses to COVID-19. I think we're number 3 after Taiwan. I think Taiwan number 1. Who's number 2?
Don't know.
Can't remember. But anyway, yeah. So I think Australia's got a lot to offer for people if you want to come somewhere nice and safe. Also, we speak English, same as you guys.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to say, you hit the nail on the head with like realizing the value of, what's in your own backyard, where I've heard that from so many of the people we work with around the world.
Have you?
And even the projects that we work with, and I'm sure if I spoke to the guys at David Police today, they would say the same thing, where it's like, their missions are being almost in a way, like, again, the silver lining of this bolstered by, I think, people's realizations of what really matters. And hopefully that translates not only to David Felice, but to the Great Barrier Reef and just the amazing things you guys have in Australia, which you just don't have anywhere else.
Yeah. It is confirming with everyone, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Before the COVID-19 hit, we were actually up in Cairns, Alex, and we were trying to suss out an alternative up in Cairns at the time, but then COVID-19 came, so
So there'll be places opening up there too.
Definitely, absolutely. Yeah. Is there any other questions that you need to be answered, or have we answered it, giving you an idea of what it's like here in Australia?
Yep, you've done a great job. Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone has any questions. For anyone listening, you can go ahead and type them in the right-hand side there if you have any questions. But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap up. I will send this recording to everyone tomorrow, so you can share with your friends and just dream about your trip to Australia. So yeah, Manny and Sharon, thank you so much for joining us.
No worries.
It's morning for you, but it worked out great. And it was, I'm happy to hear that Australia is doing that well.
Well, hi to all the guests who are listening. We can't see your names, so if there's anyone who's been here, hope you're all well and hope to all see you soon.
I'll second that too. Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you both so much. This was great.
Okay,
You're
thanks,
welcome.
guys.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you again soon.
Keep safe, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.